All right, hello. So this video is over reporting category number 1. All right, so our big readiness TEKs are 3.2a, 2D, 3F, and 3H, and we'll talk about each of those. Reminder that our readiness TEKs are the big skills, and the supporting TEKs are the ones that, like support the readiness ones. All right, so on our STAR test, there are 4 reporting categories or sections, and each section covers different skills. So reporting category number 1 is place value, comparing ordering numbers, and equivalent fractions. So today we're going over that reporting category number 1. All right, so when it comes to place value, a lot of times that you can see it in a picture form, and we're going to see these base 10 blocks. So we have a thousands cube, or thousands block might be called, a hundreds flat, a tens rod, and then ones. Okay. All right, so we're going to go straight into practicing. So what number is represented here? So I want you to look at your hundreds, tens, and ones and label them if you need to, okay? Think about it. I'm going to do our second read, and then I want you to pause the video after that. What number is represented here? So go ahead and take a moment, pause the video, and then I want you to look at the picture, figure out what your answer is, and after you have your answer, I want you to come on back. All right, now that you have a chance to work it out, we're going to reveal that answer. So when we're looking at our hundreds place value here, we have 1, 2, and 3 flats that I can see. So I know that's going to be 3 hundreds. I see 1, 2 tens rods, so I'm going to have 2 tens. And when I count up my ones, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, if I'm looking at my answer choices that I'm going, I said that there was 3 hundreds. I immediately then could just get rid of A and C. And then I just go through B to double check. Do I have 2 tens with 20? Boom, yes. 7 ones? Yes. So I know that my expanded form is correct. So our answer choice here is an expanded form, 300 plus 20 plus 7. If you did not write this number out in standard form, regular way, I want you to take a moment, pause me again, and let's do that. Write that in standard form so you can check that. All right, you should have had a moment to write that if you had not already done so. Ooh, sorry. And that should be 327. So when you write it all next to each other, 327, 327. All right? Practice number 2. So number 1, how many thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones? Question number 2, what is the number represented written in expanded form? So, like with the addition, like we just had in the last question. And what is the number represented in standard form? So I want you to take a moment to pause the video. If you need to hear those questions for a second time from Ms. Gomez, back it up a little bit to hear it. And then I want you to pause the video and solve questions 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video right now, all right? Okay, boom, and we back. So question 1. How many thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones? So you go over to your thousands. You should have been writing a 2 underneath that. We have 2 thousands blocks. How many hundreds? I see 1, 2, and 3. We have 3 hundreds flats. We have 2 tens rods, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. So, oh, my little face is in the way. There we go. So 2 thousands, 3 hundreds, 2 tens, and 5 ones. Written in expanded form, you should have 2,000 plus 300 plus 20 plus 5. And then what is the number represented in standard form? 2,325. Okay, so take a look. If you need a moment to check your work, pause the video before Ms. Gomez moves on. All right? All right, so this one says, which number shows 497 in standard form? Listen again, which number shows 497 in standard form? Take a moment to look at the numbers. If you're stuck and need more time, I want you to pause the video. Draw your place value chart if you're stuck. And time to reveal. Why no reveal? There we go. So 497, boom. We've talked about this. As you can see, we have 496, we have 479, we have 597. All these numbers are super similar. Okay, so even if you say them and they sound different, when we're just looking at them quickly, they can sound like they can look super similar. So this is why we go back and we check our work. Do we have a 4 in the hundreds, 9D, 90, 9 in the tens, 7 in the ones place? All right, so that's why we go back and check these work, because if we're just rushing through, these numbers can all look super similar and we can make a quick mistake there. Okay. Which number shows 3,682 in standard form? Which number shows 3,682 in standard form? If you need more time, pause the video because I'm going to reveal the answer in 3, 2, 1. Boom. 3,682. All right, moving on. Which number is the word name for 612? Which number is the word name for 612? Take a moment to look. Pause me if you need more time. And we're back. So, for which number is the word name for 612? You should have chosen right there. Answer choice number 3, 612. All right. Which number is the word name for 1,423? Take a moment to look at those. Go ahead and pause me if you need more time. And I am going to reveal in 5, 4. Pause me if you need more time. Revealing in 3, 2, 1. 1,423. All right, we're moving into comparing and ordering numbers. So this is 3.2D. All right, greater than, less than, equal to. Comparing and ordering whole numbers. So we got an example here. Compare 76 and 67. So when we write this over here on the left, we have 67 is less than 76. If we're writing it the other way, it would say 76 is greater than 67. All right, and that's how you say those. Remember the mouth of the symbol. Greater than or less than always opens to the greater number. So remember, I've taught you a little trick. It's like a little alligator. And our alligator is very hungry, so he always wants some extra food, so always to the big number so he can get his extra meal. All right? Okay, second example. So it says Blanca Peak is 14,345 feet above sea level. Craystone Peak is 14,294 feet above sea level. Which peak is taller? All right, first thing you should do, line up the place values by lining up the ones. The ones. All right? So make sure the ones column is lined up. Because if, for example, you had like the first number, 14,345 and 94, and you put the 9 to line up with the front, struggle bus. All right? So we line them up by the ones column. So begin at the left then. After they're lined up, find the first place where the digits are different. So when I'm looking at these two numbers, boom. The 10,000s place, they both got ones, so that's the same. The thousands place, they both have 4s, same. Ooh, boom, we get to the hundreds place. The 3 is bigger than the 2. They are different, so then we compare the value of those digits. 300 is greater than 200, so that means that 14,345 is greater than 14,294. All right, caution. So I kind of mentioned in the last slide, but be sure to line up the digits with the same place value when comparing or computing. So like computing, adding, subtracting. So example, you score 108,464 points. Your friend scores 97,996. The higher score wins. Who wins? So lined up incorrectly. The 1 and the 9 are lined up. No. We want to line up correctly at the ones place, and we can see that the 6 and the 4 are lined up as they should be. All right? So when one whole number has more digits than the other, it's greater. Make that your rule to memorize. We've talked to you. There's a couple rules in math that we just always memorize. This is one. If one has more digits, it's bigger. Okay? So it's greater than that. All right. Your turn to compare. So we have all of these comparisons. 534 compared to 509. 45,000 compared to 943. 45,943 compared to 45,494. 904,109,005 compared to 940,109,005. 174,903,845,182 compared to 174,903,845,182. All right, let's go back to the first one. 534 compared to 509. Which of those numbers is bigger? If you don't remember if you should say less than or greater than or equal to, if it's the signs, which way should your alligator face? Which way should it face? All right, prepare for the reveal. We have greater than. All right, so 534 is greater than 509. That little sign, the alligator's hungry. He wants to eat the 534. 45,943 compared to 45,494. All right, I want you to take a moment to look at this one. Pause the video if you need a little bit more time. And I'm going to reveal that answer in 3. Pause the video if you need more time. Revealing in 2 and 1. So you should have said greater than here. So 45,943 is greater than 45,494. So when you compare these, when you line them up, you're going to see that in your hundreds place right there, one has a 9 and one has a 4. So that tells us that 45,943 is the bigger one. All right, our next comparison, we have 904,109,005 compared to 940,109,005. Take a moment to look at this one and go ahead and pause the video if you need some time because I'm going to reveal the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So you should have used the less than symbol because 904,109,005 is less than 940,109,005. Okay? So again, when you line those up, that 0 and the 4 right after the 9s are going to line up. Boom, the 4 is larger. Okay, look at that last comparison. I want you to look at every digit in there. And what is our answer? Am I going to use the comparison symbol of less than, greater than, or equal to? Pause, Miss Gomez, if you need more time, because I'm revealing the answer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. They are equal. If you did not see that they are equal, sometimes they're big numbers. So it's like, ooh, that's a lot of numbers. Just write them on top of each other. Write the number on the left, the number on the right, right up beneath that one. Boop. And then when they all line up, you'll see that every single number is the same. All right, so along with 3.2D, this is the ordering the following numbers. So you have comparing the numbers that we're doing and ordering numbers, all right? So order the following numbers from greatest to least. We got 61,565, 71,649, as well as 75,367. So in the same way that we line up the numbers for when we compare them, we do the same thing from least to greatest because we're comparing these as well as putting them in order. So you line them up at the ones place. Begin to compare at the left. Look for the digits that's different. Look for the ones that are the same. All of those. Then number 3, continue. Find the first place where the digits are different. All right? So for example, with this one, back at step 2, okay, there's a 6 in the 10,000s place, but the other ones have 7. I know that 6 is less than 7. So that means that 61,565 is the least, like it says there. And then you go to your last 2 and you compare those, and then you can put them all in order. All right. So we should have had 75,367, followed by 71,649, and last 61,565. Okay, your turn. Order from least to greatest from least to greatest for the top one, and order from greatest to least for our bottom problem. This is important. One says least to greatest, one says greatest to least on star. They don't mark and like underline those or anything. So it's super important that you, when you see an ordering question like this, double check it, reread it. Write least to greatest. If you are writing it out on your scratch paper, put like a little tiny dot at the beginning if it's least and a giant dot at the end for greatest. If it's greatest to least, do it the opposite. A giant dot for greatest and then little dot at the end for the least. All right, I want you to go ahead and pause Miss Gomez's video so you can get these into order from least to greatest and greatest to least. And then when you come back, I shall reveal the answers. All right, so go ahead and pause the video. Pause, Miss Gomez. Boom, and we're back. Okay, so ordering these from least to greatest and greatest to least. So with our first one up here, you should have had the order of 56,338. That last number here. Followed by 56,820. Last, 56,833. All right, and then from greatest to least for our four numbers down here, starting with 90,654. Second number should have been 90,556. Third number should be 87,954, followed lastly by 87,223. All right, now we're moving into fractions, everybody's favorite. So equivalent fractions, and then we'll get to comparing fractions. Those are the 3.3F and 3.3H teaks, all right? So what is a fraction? A symbol that is used to name equal parts of a whole. All right, so a fraction has a numerator, and the numerator is the top number, and it names the part that is shaded or unshaded. A fraction has a denominator, and the denominator is that bottom number. It names the total number of pieces in the whole. So you got that numerator on top, that denominator on the bottom, representing those different things, and we're going to practice that, okay? So here's a hint. So for example, let's say we have 2/4 here, right? The number in the north is the numerator, whereas the number that is down is the denominator, okay? All right, so we got part of a whole. So I want you to take a moment. What is the total amount of parts here? What would the denominator be for this model? All right, we're thinking. Boom. If you didn't write it out or you don't got it in your head, get it? So you should have said eighths. We're going to have eighths here, right? We want to put a number 8 in our denominator. So take a moment. I want you to write on a paper or have it in your head, what fraction of this model is shaded yellow? What fraction of this model is shaded yellow? All right. Should have had enough time by now. If you need more time, pause, Ms. Gomez. You should have 3/8. All right, so 3/8 of this model are shaded yellow. Now, what fraction of this model is shaded red? What fraction of this model is shaded red? Go ahead and get it in your brain. Look at the model. What fraction is shaded red? Alrighty, so you should have said that 5/8 is shaded red. Beep beep. When I said what part of the model is shaded yellow and you said 5/8, you are on the right track. And that is 100% when we are rereading the problems. This is why Ms. Gomez says reread that problem 3 times. Because little tiny thing can be the difference between you getting the correct answer or getting the wrong answer. Because, oh, you best believe, whatever the question is, whether it was the shaded yellow or shaded red, star is going to show you both of those answer choices. So you're going to be like, oh yeah, I got it. Here's my answer. All right, so make sure we are double checking those. So again, 3/8 is yellow, 5/8 is red. Okay, part of a set. Again, listen to the question so you give me the correct fraction. What fraction of this set is an apple? What fraction of this set is an apple? All right, you should have said 1/5. 1/5 of this set is made up of apples. All right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pears and 1 apple, so that's 5 pieces of fruit altogether, and one of those pieces of fruit is an apple. And then what would the fraction be for the pears represented in this model? What fraction of this model is pears? All right, thinking? And you should have said 4/5. So 4/5 of this fraction model are pears, and 1/5 of this set is an apple. All right, position on the number line. So everyone has been doing super awesome. You've gotten lots of practice of this on ST Math. Ooh, the number line. as a reminder, it is super important when you see those questions about fractions on a number line, we count the spaces. Say it with me. I don't care if you're at home. Count the spaces. All right? Because if you start counting at the spot for 0, and if you say 1 in your head because it's not labeled, and you're like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 lines there, and so now you might be thinking, oh, it's sevens. So this is why we count the spaces on the number line, because our number lines aren't always labeled from 0 to 1, so we don't always have that available to us. So that's why you always want to count the spaces, because it'll tell you, oh, this is 1 whole, or whatever it is. What's the fraction? So then I can count my spaces, and when I count my spaces, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces on the number line. So it tells me that this number line is broken up into 6. And that's why we have all our fractions here. Okay? Alright, naming parts of a whole. Quick recap. Go ahead and just pause the video so you can read over this. And then when you hit unpause, I'm going to move to the next slide. Alright? Alright, naming fractional parts. So again, example, the flag of Nigeria has 3 equal parts. What fraction of the flag is green? I would look, 2 of those 3 parts are green, so the numerator is going to be 2. 2 equal parts are green. The denominator is going to be 3 because there's 3 equal parts in all. So what you write over there on the left, 2 over 3, 2/3 of the flag is green. And then what you say, 2/3 of the flag is green. So you got the number form and word form. All right, equivalent fractions. Equivalent means equal. Equal. All right, so for example, in our little model here, 3/6 is equivalent, equal to 1/2. So remember, we got our equivalent fractions. Equivalent and equal mean the same thing when we're looking at our fractions, all right? Equivalent means equal. There we go. So when we're finding equivalent fractions, here's a hint for you. Look for that pattern. So for example, here on all of our numerators, they're increasing by 1 number. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then our denominator is all increasing by 2. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, so we got 1/2, 2/4, 3/6, 4/8, and 5/10. And all of these fractions are all equivalent to each other. They're all equal. All right, another hint. This is our strategy, bottoms up. If you do not have paper, pencil, or a whiteboard marker in front of you, get it. Pause the video to grab it, all right? Because you are doing this along with Ms. Gomez. So to find equivalent fractions, we can use our bottoms up method. 3/6 compared to 4/8. So first, because we've already done this at school, I want you to take a moment, try and do it by yourself. If you know how to do it, pause the video. Otherwise, follow along, okay? So, if you know what you're doing, pause the video, then you can come back and check your work. Otherwise, keep watching so you can follow on. So remember, step number 1, 8 times 3. We draw our arrow. Boom. I want that arrow there. 8 times 3. So 8 times 3 equals what? If you do not have your multiplication fact memorized, I will tell you what are the things. Draw a picture. Draw an array. Some type of model, skip count, whatever you gotta do. Your new tic-tac-toe multiplication that I taught you. However you're gonna get it, all right? So 8 times 3. Pause the video to find that product, then come back. Okay, so you should have said 24. 8 times 3 equals 24. So we've done step 1, draw the arrow. To do 8 times 3, we found the product, 24. Next step is to go the opposite direction, 6 times 4. Ooh, that came fast. But 24. All right, the next thing is to compare these numbers. In this case, we have 24 and 24. That tells us that these fractions are equivalent. All right? Boom. Equivalent fractions. Woohoo! So these are equal to each other. All right, we're going to do another model. So now, on your own, I'll give you the first hint. 8 times 2. All right? Go ahead and pause this video. I want you to compare these fractions using bottoms up on your own. After you have done the work on your little paper or whiteboard, come back and hit play, all right? Okay, and we're back. So you should have done step 1, 8 times 2. find that product of 16. Next step, 6 times 1. And product is 6. When I compare these, I can see that 16 is larger than 6. That tells me that 2 6 is greater than 1/8. So when I put in my little symbol, nom nom nom, Mr. Alligator is hungry. He wants the bigger fraction. Okay. Word form, 2 6 is greater than 1/8. All right, ordering fractions. You can still use bottoms up. So you'll be asked to order fractions from greatest to least and from least to greatest. This can be on a model. It can be on the number line. It can also be just like 2 fractions, compare them. How it can be come up in different ways. So you can do 2 strategies to choose from. You can draw a picture. You can use bottoms up. All right. Ordering fractions of drawing a picture. So we've talked about this. You know, Ms. Gomes was a little weary about the pictures. I don't even like to do the pictures. Because, for example, I have my 3 squares here, right? One shows 1/3, 1/6, and 1/9. They are all of the same size. It is, so least to greatest, I know that it goes 1/9, 1/6, 1/3. Remember, pictures can just be a little hard because your whole has to be exactly the same. So sometimes you can throw yourself off when you're drawing the pictures. Alright, so your final thing to do is ordering fractions with bottoms up. Compare all of these fractions. So I want you to go ahead, I want you to pause the video, and then after you have compared all of these fractions, come back and I will reveal the answers. Alright, let's go ahead and pause the video. Alrighty, and we're back. So, answers coming in. You should have said for number 1 that 2/5 is greater than 3/8. For number 2, you should have put 5/9 is greater than 3/6. And for number 3, you should have said 1/6 is less than 2/9. All right. All right, and that is our last bit for reporting category number 1. You can always come back to this. You can skip through, look around, back up to bottoms up if you need more practice, all that jazz. Alrighty? I hope this helps y'all, and if you have any questions, let Ms. Gomez know. All right? Bye!